Would you consider what you've seen so far pornography?
No, not me.
No? How does it affect you?
This is life to me. I mean, I see people and things and conditions. And of all conditions, I don't mean middle class or high class or low class. I see men, you know, as they are.
Yes.
You know, from the cave to rich man. You see, and I'm not afraid of it. And people that are afraid of it have strong opinions of this. But the people that are living, you know, they've been here before. You know, the spittoons.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't see anything but a bunch of junk just thrown together, and he calls that art.
Mm-hmm.
Art to me is the old masters over here in the first building.
Mm-hmm.
That is art.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of junk that's just thrown together and a bunch of gobby pink thrown on it, to me it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think the man's sick.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you operate it. The red button is to stop and start it. The black button is for volume. The tour begins under the Kienholz sign.
Here Kienholz is making an effort to humanize the computer. He wants to show it as a tool of man rather than a tyrant. It has 3 motors inside it. One to rock it when it gets tired, one to run the lights, and one to make noise. It has a bell. And if you ask it questions by phone, it will answer sometime.
Everything's wired. Nothing's really people anymore. It's just, you're not an individual, you're part of a machine or a cog.
The Navy's way of going to war is to have a machine find the enemy, and on the machine shoot down the enemy, and you just sit there and watch the buttons.
An atom bomb has been exploded, and it's almost destroyed humanity. While in another corner, one computer is happily giving birth to another computer, and he calls it, or the ramparts we watched, fascinated. Kienholz would like each of you to be able to come here and do this to the painting, because then you relate to it. You become a part of it, and you better understand what he is attempting. However, this is a museum, so I must ask you not to touch anything. I'll do all the touching for you.
Forbidden fruit, right.
This is KFI, Los Angeles.
What he is saying, that what seems to be romantic and lovely in the dark after a few beers with soft music is really not very pretty at all, especially when you, the audience, when you are involved, when you look into it and you see yourself reflected in the mirrors in there. And that's all he's trying to say, and it is another one of his statements to the young people of the world. Now, if you'll move rather quickly past this, the guard will close the door. Well, yes, now you can go this way.
But I don't see what they can see by the thing that's closed. I mean...
They say there's a couple on the back seat making love.
Well, I think people that have teenagers have something really to worry about. I really do.
You know what it's like?
Well, I don't know. In my generation, things were different.
They were?
We didn't have automobiles to begin with.
What was it like when you were a teenager?
Oh, I don't know. There was more discipline. I think the parents used to know more what their children are doing. Now they're so free, these children, the way they dress, their clothes, their hair, saw girls on the street, they had tight pants, and then from the knee down, it was all embroidery, white embroidery, loose legs. Isn't that so?
He sort of gets a feeling of loneliness, old age, death. I think it's really sad. She keeps her memories in jars. She draws on them for her life. Kind of, they're like oxygen bottles or plasma things.
It's all that keeps her going, kind of, I would say.
That's the word, really, going. She can't move physically. But I wanted to just take an axe and just chop it up. And then I wanted to just take the bird in my hands and just feel life.
Dear Jane, I can't come down now because Harry needs me here. Ma says she might make it later. Keep a stiff upper lip, kid. Dick.
Eerie, tragic, sick.
I get the feeling that he's trying to express the pain inside from the outside.
Because to give birth is something beautiful, and the scene doesn't depict it. She's actually expelling at this particular point all her feelings that she had. And it's a sad feeling, actually, because this is actually a love at one time. And very depressing, because he's not here.
But actually, it is not a valid picture of modern art or modern society that he has taken certain aberrations, and by putting them in this position, in this context, in a museum of this kind, they have overemphasized and made us think, as somebody said, this is a picture of our time. I don't think it's a picture of our time at all. I think it's a picture of a small segment of our society, and I think it's unfortunate it's being overemphasized and makes people think that this is our society when I don't think it is at all.
Mr. Kienholz has total recall. Every piece of furniture in this room, the carpeting, the draperies, the wallpaper, and so on, are exactly as they were in this particular brothel in Las Vegas in 1943. The records are 1943 hits. The magazines on the table are dated 1943. The war was going on at this time, and you will see a soldier's jacket hanging on the wall.
I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why, but I do. I don't know why you thrill me like you do. I don't know why, but you do. You never seem to want my romancing. The only time you hold me is when we're dancing. I don't know why I love you like I do.
Dear Sis, how are you? We are fine, except Mama has her dizzy spells yet. Papa got the crops in, but he says it doesn't look too good this year, what with the dry spell and all. By the way, Papa said to thank you for the $20, as it came in real handy. Papa says you must have a real good job to be able to spare that kind of money. I have to go back to school this fall. I'll be a senior this year, and then maybe I can come to the city and get a good job, too. Things are about the same in this place. Fulton's barn blew down, and last week Guttmuller's cow had twin calves. It's all so dry and dull here. If only I could be there with you and see all there is to see. I gotta quit now and help Mama with the chores. Love till I see you. Sis. P.S. Write soon, as we haven't heard from you in quite a spell.
The only time you hold me is when we're dancing. I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why, but I do.
I can't see anything so groovy about this.
You mean about a house of prostitution?
No. Well, if they were so good, how come there aren't more of them? I mean, all around. And I mean, when you start, I just can't see bringing one into a museum. It's all this is a house of prostitution, and it's pretty disgusting, really, when you look at it. I mean, for my morals, they are.
It doesn't mean anything to you either.
No. It's a sewing machine that goes up and down. That's all that thing is. I think it tends to tell everything that exactly is going on, that the real thin sham of society tries to overplay, and it kind of underplays this, but this is exactly what's going on in everybody's mind. That's how come they're all here looking at it and craning their necks to see it, because they didn't think anybody else would ever try to do it. No, they don't think that nobody else is actually has the same feelings that they do. Yeah. Walking into this house is just like walking into a dozen houses I've walked into. Same junkie dresser, same everything. I mean, everything is just the way it's supposed to be, and the constant noise. It's a living picture. The rumpled rug. Tell me, is this rug supposed to be rumpled? Is it supposed to be rumpled? Oh, she's working. Wait a minute. Let me look at it. Oh, yeah.
What does that mean, dear?
I'd say it's symbolic, wouldn't you? That's basic. Yeah.
What about that squirrel?
The squirrel, I can't, oh. The squirrel getting in that, that's too much. That is too much. And the yellow rose under your chin to see if you like butter. Isn't that too much? Oh, man. This Kienholz, he's got a this one intrigues me. He seems like there's no hope.
The broom and the towel.
Yeah, those instruments of servitude.
Band around his waist that bids him any relationships.
Oh, he's got a treadmill under it. This is getting nowhere fast.
The picture above that, Cockeye Jenny, shows the beauty of woman. Impressionable young boy gets this first picture, which is so contrary to what he finds in reality, you see.
When this is the first indication you have of what it is to go with a woman, I wonder we have so much homosexuality.
When you live on the other side, you live in a sheltered world, you don't usually have these things thrown in your face. And unfortunately, people should have more of this thrown in their faces so that they can realize that everything isn't country clubs and beautiful pictures and flowers in the gardens.
It was interesting, but, well, I've never been inside one of those places, so I don't know how, what kind of a satire it is, but I liked the picture of General MacArthur in there. Thought that was good. Well, he's so such an outstanding person, and then his big picture's right there in the middle of that, well,
I don't know, prostitute house, and I just thought that was a real good contrast to upstanding American morals and probably the place where every serviceman would go when he had a chance. I just thought it was a real good contrast. I guess I kind of like to stay in my own rosy glow. I don't know. I don't want to be experienced to things like that. I've never really been surrounded. I haven't ever come in contact with things like that. I've always been protected in my own little middle-class world.
I think it's a comment on the human condition. He's picturing as it exists today, but it's common to all mankind because it sets down in tableau form for us and then for future generations what our ills and unhappinesses were, so, plus some of the humor that's attendant on the age.
It shows the seamier side of our modern society, both, and the machine society. It doesn't show, as far as I'm concerned, at least does not bring to me the noble aspects of our society, but rather the cruder aspects, the mechanical, the junky, the ephemeral.
And if someone looks at it and says it's junk, then possibly for that person, he's gotten across all that he can. Yeah. You know, we can't really see above our own level, but we can look down below it.
No, I don't feel that this exhibit is junk at all. I feel the artist has felt something and defined it in no other way that any contemporary has ever explored. And for this, I respect and admire him, but I also see his art as, well, what art is really about. You know, he's really depicting what he's seeing, that's all. You know, it's not junk or pornography or sacrilegious or any of that. It's, you know.
That is what man is constantly doing, is always telling himself and the others around him what it's all about, how he sees it, so that he feels more secure in his position, because he's not quite sure of it himself, and he's got to talk and create and do things to convince himself, and he convinces others while he's doing it.
What's it hit in your life? You feel it? What is he against? Is he against grandmothers? Do you get that impression?
No.
Oh, I can't quite figure it out myself.
He's showing.
Is the man living? Is the doctor living?
The doctor?
Well, isn't he the artist living?
Yeah, I guess he is.
Is it him? Was it one of... No. Huh? Is it one of you?
Who?
One of you? No. Are they related?
Oh.
No?
Oh, no. No. Oh, yes, in a sense.
Are you?
So are you.
Oh!
It's nice. Yes.
I know what you mean now. Yeah. We're all born under one God.
We're all in the same boat together.
Yes, uh-huh.
If you want something to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Baby, my time is too expensive, and I'm not a little boy. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, it makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, then baby, I will. Girl, you know I will. Tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. But I know deep down inside of me, I believe you love me. Forget your foolish pride. Go and find yourself a star.